Hello and welcome to Accent Excellence. I'm Chuck Lionberger, and coming up on this month's show, we're going to kick off the 2018 Load the Bus for Kids Drive. Also, we'll have more about Hidden Valley Middle School and their redesignation as a school to watch. Don't go anywhere. We're starting Accent Excellence right now. Hi and welcome to Accent Excellence. We're at Herman L. Horn Elementary School, and joining me is Jamie Walsh. She's the music teacher here at Herman L. Horn. And Jamie, you know, music is all about fun. You're having fun today. It's Decades Day and Decades Week here at Herman L. Horn, so they're having some fun with some decade-oriented attire. I guess this is what, 1960s, right?
Yes.
It's the 60s day, so here at Herman L. Horn. But we're also here to talk about some great music, but also a program that you're doing in partnership with the middle school to help fifth grade students get a little early taste of what music is like in the middle school. Tell me all about it.
Well, Ms. Asbel and I decided that it's very difficult for our schedules to align for her to come here or us to go there, being that we don't share a campus like some of the elementary schools and middle schools. So we've been putting our heads together about the best way to get our kids together so that the fifth graders can see what it's really like to be in the band. And it was actually Ms. Asbel who came up with the idea of trying to get the kids to Skype with each other. And we tossed around a bunch of ideas, and the first one, the best one we came up with was for us to Skype both classrooms, with a sixth grade classroom and a fifth grade classroom at the same time, so our fifth graders here could see where they could be in a year.
You know, before they know it, these fifth graders now will be over at the middle school. How helpful is it for these students to start to get that initial exposure to music and to really band in the middle school?
I mean, I think it's everything. We talk about with our kids all the time is the more they can get up to the middle school, the easier transition that they will have next year. And William Byrd Middle School does a great job. They have a band night, they have a choir night, and I just tell them, go to everything that you can, because the one more time that you're up to the middle school, it'll be that much easier when they go next year.
Yeah, there are so many opportunities for all of our fifth grade students when they move up to the middle school. You know, music, arts, technology, everything's there. It's almost hard to choose, isn't it?
It is, and we have a lot of students who just don't know what to pick because as fifth graders, they're just interested in everything. So I try to give them as much exposure so they can elect their own choice themselves. So we set up this program so they could see the band, we get the instruments in their hands, and they just love music, and it's just such a great choice for them.
One of the things that was especially interesting about today's program was the fact that the fifth graders were able to experience a virtual concert with the sixth grade students.
It's so cool. And we talk about how, you know, I knew those students and they knew those students as being a year older than them and have gone up to the middle school, and, you know they didn't play those instruments before they left here. And to see them on screen playing those instruments, it's so cool.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of the next piece I wanted to get to. These students that we saw on the screen were sitting in this classroom a year ago and had practically zero experience with those particular instruments.
Right.
Look at how much they've grown in just a year, and now think about these fifth graders.
Yeah, I mean, it blows my mind to get to see them up on the screen. And, you know, we've watched videos of people playing instruments and things like that throughout the year. And, you know, we've had some people come in and play an instrument, but they don't know those people. So to sit there and see kids like themselves up on the screen, it's really special.
I imagine that also kind of helps get at the fear factor a little bit. You know, the first time I open up an instrument, in fact, as you said, the first lesson is how to open the case without spilling it out.
Without jumping it, right?
But the first time, I know for me, you know, my son played trumpet, and I held the trumpet one time. I had no clue what to do with this thing, and I can imagine it gets scary at first, but it's really not so bad, is it?
Right, it's really not bad at all, and there's definitely that intimidation factor. And what I hear the most when talking with the kids about what they're going to choose to take next year is, I really want to do bands, but I don't know how to play an instrument. And I think they can't even wrap their head around the fact that they don't need to know how to play an instrument to join the band. That's why there is the band, so they can learn it.
And from there, you know, the start at sixth grade, oh, how far they can go.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You know, so we talk about, you know, asking, you know, the kids as they go to football games and they're watching the marching band, you know, it's sometimes difficult to connect the fact that that marching band, those high school students, that experience and that journey to that field actually starts in sixth grade.
Right, and even starts before that. We play recorder here. We started in the third grade, and it's their first experience to using their fine motor skills and blowing into their instrument and counting the rhythm and reading the notes. And our third graders now are starting recorder, and they made the comment of, it's so much to remember all at the same time, and it really just shows how music can affect your brain. And it's neat to see them start that journey of putting all the pieces together and then moving up to the middle school, and even more putting those pieces together, playing different parts in a group.
It's a whole lot of fun, and I think a great opportunity for fifth grade students to start to get a little sneak peek at life in the middle school and help transition. So, Ms. Walsh, again, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for coming.
Folks, stay right there. We're moving forward with a lot more accent excellence still to come.
A house will always look like a house. But what makes a house a home?
Laughter.
Kindness.
Oh, there it is.
Love.
Hope.
Family. Could you provide a home to a local youth in need?
Learn more about foster care today and help make a house a home.
The Roanoke County Sheriff's Office presents RAD, the Rape Aggression Defense Program. RAD is a comprehensive self-defense course only for women that begins with awareness, prevention, risk reduction, and avoidance, while progressing to the basics of hands-on defensive training. Students must attend all 4 classes to complete the course. Simulation is strictly voluntary, and students can complete the course if they choose not to volunteer, but they must be present. For more info, call 540-283-3107.
Hi, and welcome back to Accent Excellence. We're at the Burton Center for Arts and Technology, and joining me is Gibby Gibbons. She's the counselor here at BCAT. And Gibby, school is starting up, and this is the time when, you know, a lot of students start to think about careers, and you meet a lot of times with students, especially middle school and even some elementary school students, about career planning. And there's always kind of the most obvious question when it comes to career planning, and that is,
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Exactly, but you have a bit of a different take on that question. Tell me all about it.
I do have a different take on that. I think that we need to look at children as complete people, not just what job they're going to have when they grow up. So I've been going out last year speaking to fifth graders about how do you want to change the world? And when you get young students thinking about that, it's amazing the amount of things that can come out of them. And I've had adults across the county be really shocked by what kids come up with when you ask them questions like, how do you want to change the world? Because most adults think that elementary kids don't have that in them to figure that out yet. But they do. For instance, one of the elementary schools I was at, I was talking and I asked the fifth graders, you know, how do you want to change the world? A little boy raises his hand and said, I want to stop people from using drugs. I said, okay, let's look at that. I said, that's your goal, that's your passion, that's what you really want to do. How can you do that? What kinds of careers would fall into that? And he's like, well, I could be a policeman and arrest them. I was like, you're right, you could. I could be a doctor and help them when they overdose. You're right, you could. I said, what else you can do? And I kept getting him to think, and he's like, well, I could be a counselor and talk with them. I could be a social worker and help them if they end up, you know, down on times and all stuff. So it's truly amazing how much you can get out of younger students just by asking them, how do you want to change the world? And one of the things we're actually going to work on doing is, because we're going to work on a whole new career section for elementary students, well, up through 12th grade. But with elementary students, we're working on it, and we want to talk with even younger students and get them started about what is a good world? What kind of person do you want to be? And then by the time they get into 5th grade, how do you want to change the world? And we can start them talking about careers. From that, leads into different courses in middle school, which leads into the variety of things that Roanoke County offers for high school students, which then sets them up for if they want to go on to a 4-year school or a 2-year school or a training program or go right into the workforce or go into the armed services. So if we can start them thinking about it younger with a broader spectrum instead of what do you want to be, who you are, and they look at that picture on the wall and they're, oh, I want to be a policeman, we can get them to think way more about how they want to change the world and what they really want to be able to do.
Because this really launches, and that question launches students into this whole concept of career pathway. What do you want to do? Great. Now, how do we get you there?
Exactly. And the other thing is that, and I was talking with 5th graders about this because I'm like, how many of you guys know your parents don't like their jobs? I'm like, if we can get you to figure out what you're passionate about and then get a job and a career in that area, you're going to be happier adults. And I think that's a great goal to go for is let's get people really like what they're doing.
You know, it begs the question of if you're doing it and you don't like it, why are you doing it?
Why are you doing it?
So the other piece to that then is, you know, as we talked about how are you going to get there, this opens up this whole door about post-secondary education. For many years, the thought has been, after high school, what's the other common question?
Where are you going to go to college?
Exactly. But is that necessarily the right or even the most appropriate choice? Don't get me wrong, college is a good option.
It's a great option.
But it's an option.
Yeah, and actually, if you look at national studies, approximately 67% of seniors across the nation go on to a 4-year school. 34% of adults have a 4-year degree or higher. So there's a span there from 67 to about 34, students not finishing a 4-year degree. Those are students who are going out there, racking up debt, don't have a degree. You know, we got to figure out something better for them. We've got to really push the fact that there's so many more options out there. You know, and I know you've done shows on this, the apprenticeships that we're starting in high schools. You know, the apprenticeship programs with corporations around the valley, getting students training and education while they're still high school students working for these corporations, then they can go on and keep working for them, or they've got good base training to go on to school. Some of these corporations are paying for 100% reimbursement on tuition, not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah, or a portion
it's just,
thereof.
a portion. I mean, it's incredible, and that's what we've got to keep doing. And especially with the new graduation requirements coming up, we need to be looking at all different options of how we can help Roanoke County students figure out what they want to do after high school.
You know, and Gibby, part of this also is that, you know, these students are working towards some really good paying jobs.
They are, and it's incredibly important that, I think anyways, that people are working in areas that they have some training in. But there are a lot of, I mean, we have students walk out of Burton who have industry certifications who seriously are going to go out and make more than I do with a master's degree.
And probably me as well, with also a master's degree.
So it's like, you got to pick and choose. I love what I do, though.
Yeah.
So that's good. But they're going out and they're doing something in a field that they love, and potentially, as a 19-year-old, making more than me as a, 50-something.
And as another time, and we'll probably have to save it for a whole other conversation, is talking with parents and helping parents understand choices and that college is one option.
Yeah.
But just one option.
Yeah, and
well, that'll be a conversation. Yeah, that's a conversation
that's
another
a
time.
huge piece.
That'll be a whole
We'll do
other
that again.
segment on Accent Excellence at another time. But Gibby, thanks so much for being with us.
You're
and
welcome.
again,
Thank you.
Remember the question and ask it yourselves. How are you going to change the world? And then, what career pathways does that create, and how do you get there? So again, Gibby, thanks so much for being with us. Stay right there. More Accent Excellence is still to come.
A little soap and water can go a long way. When you wash your car in a driveway, the soap, oil, and grease can flow into storm drains and pollute our rivers and streams. Always try to wash your car on the lawn. This will allow the water to soak into the ground. If you have to wash your car in a driveway, make sure the water drains onto your lawn and not a storm drain. Use a biodegradable soap. Dump your wash bucket in your sink or allow it to filter through the grass. It's easy to keep your car and our waterways clean by doing the right thing.
I want to be a Broadway performer.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be an environmental scientist.
I want to be a fashion designer.
I want to be a senator.
I want to be a teacher.
I want to be a professional athlete.
I want to be cool.
I want to be accepted.
I want to fit in.
I want to be popular.
I want to be invited to parties.
I don't want to be invisible anymore.
I want to be part of the in crowd.
You think you have to drink to be in the in crowd, but giving in to peer pressure isn't going to get you anywhere. Be true to yourself to accomplish your big dreams.
Hi, and welcome back to Accent Excellence. We're here at the Roanoke County Public Schools Administration Building, and joining me again is Dr. Ken Nicely. He's our Assistant Superintendent of Administration and Instruction here at Roanoke County Public Schools, and we're very honored to have with us Miss Sandy Dutemple with the Schools to Watch program here in Virginia. Right. And Sandy, first and foremost, we're here for a very special celebration about Schools to Watch. But before we talk about the celebration itself, we have to ask kind of the first question. What is the Schools to Watch program?
Schools to Watch program is a national program where we recognize high-performing middle schools who are very good at taking care of their kids academically, socially. We think social equity is very important, that this middle school looks like a good place for kids aged 10 to 15 to attend, and that they are organized in such a way that they support every aspect of a kid's educational program.
So, Dr. Nicely, we are celebrating Hidden Valley Middle School being named a school to watch, not once, not even twice, but this is now the fourth time, the initial designation, and then 3 times redesignation as a school to watch. And this is something that you had a hand in back in 2009 with the very first initial designation.
Well, that's right. And I'll never forget being at the Virginia Middle School Association conference many years ago, and with Sandy there doing a presentation about the Schools to Watch program. And being an assistant principal at the time, and then later a principal, was very motivated to know, tell me more about this, because we feel like we're pretty good here at our school, but we always want to be better. You want to know how good you are compared to other folks. So the School to Watch criteria, when we talk about academic excellence and being development responsive and the social equity piece, it lays out some criteria against which you can measure, and it's all research-based. It's sound pedagogy and guidelines and ideas about how to create schools that are good places for schools to attend, or for students to attend. So we initiated that process way back in about 2007. For first started having conversations with our faculty there, and kind of measured ourselves against the rubrics, the measures that were there, and decided where our strengths were some things we wanted to work on, and then we applied about a year later, and Hidden Valley was first designated back in 2009, the first school west of Richmond to get that designation, so we were very proud at the time.
So, Sandy, I think it's very suffice to say that it's not easy to be named a school to watch.
No.
Kind of explain how that might be.
Well, the main thing is we have high standards, and we look to judge the school against the standards. I don't care if you're a school of 200 or a school of 3,000. We always judge in relation to the standards. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to be very well versed in the standards, and your students have to be achieving, and it has to be a really good climate. And it's a school has to take a bit of courage to self-nominate, to say, hey, I'm good enough, come and look at me and see if I am. And so to be selected is indeed an honor, because not only are you evaluated or assessed in relation to the standards in the written documents you submit, but we have a team that comes to visit the schools who are really knowledgeable about schools to watch and good middle schools, and they have to say, we found what they said was true.
And as you said, it's not easy to get the designation.
Right.
But wait, there's more to get redesignated.
Yes.
It's not just the same old, is it?
No. Because every 3 years you must apply to be redesignated, to say we've been doing well and we've gotten better since our last visit. And they submit another application telling us what have they done since they became a school to watch or since they had their last visit. And we send in yet another team to take a look at their growth and see that they are on a trajectory toward continuous growth and continued excellence for everyone.
Dr. Nicely, middle school grades are especially important in the development of a student when you look from K to 12. Why are the middle school grades so critical?
Well, and it's a great question. You know, Sandy said we're talking about schools that serve students about ages 10 to 15. So, you know, some schools have grades 6 through 8. Some schools have 6 to 7. It's not about the you know, how a school might be set up. But as you're alluding to, it's about serving young adolescents, students who are going through that period of life under which they're undergoing more changes, developmentally speaking, than any other time in their life since infancy. The difference is they have a front row seat, and so that causes a lot of anxiety and stress. And so what good middle school programs, what good middle school educators do, and those are folks who are knowledgeable about young adolescents and what works for them, how to best teach them and work for them, and are committed to working with that age group. And so what good middle school or middle grades educators do is you know, really strive to understand what really works best in terms of working with kids that age, and then being purposeful about putting those things in place. You know, here in Roanoke County we talk about deeper learning being a learning that's engaging and it's purposeful. And that's really at the heart of what good middle grades is all about.
And of course, we're very fortunate here in Roanoke County Public Schools that, you know, right now we're recognizing Hidden Valley Middle School and their redesignation. In fact, we're watching some pictures right now from the celebration at the school for being redesignated 3 times. But also we have 3 other schools in Roanoke County that also are schools to watch: Northside Middle School, Glenver Middle School, and William Byrd Middle School. So again, very, very fortunate to have 4 middle schools in Roanoke County that are schools to watch, and you know, we're pretty proud of that.
You should be. And in Virginia, we have about 45 middle schools that are schools to watch out of, I don't know, 310 or so middle schools in the state. Nationally, we're probably about 450. I haven't seen a final total yet, though we are getting ready to have our national conference, and we'll know for sure then how many. But Virginia is second only to California in terms of the number of schools, and yet we are very strict about holding to those standards. You've got to be very, very high performing in order to achieve that designation. We want that designation to mean something so that when you receive it, you are very proud.
And speaking of proud, we do have to say we're very proud of Sandy. Ms. Dutemple, we have to say congratulations to you, retiring after 15 years. So this, you know, we thank you for all of your support over the last 10 years for all of our middle schools. So you know, we did want to take a moment and thank you for that.
That's very kind. It's been, imagine a retired teacher getting to work with outstanding schools. What a job.
Absolutely.
Anybody should enjoy that. But I appreciate your support and your help. Thank you.
Absolutely. Dr. Nicely and Mr. Dutemple, again, thanks for being with us. And folks, stay right there. We have a lot more Accent Excellence still to come.
Everyone loves having a beautiful green lawn, but did you know that lawn fertilizers can pollute our waterways? Before you fertilize your lawn, conduct a soil test to know what fertilizers are needed. Only apply fertilizers during the growing season and avoid using fertilizers and pesticides within 20 feet of a stream. After you mow, leave your clippings on your lawn because these return nutrients back into the ground. It's easy to keep your lawn green and our waterways clean. Contact the Clean Valley Council for more info.
Hi, and welcome back to Accent Excellence. We're at the Bonsack Walmart. As you can hear, we're kicking off the 2018 Load the Bus supply drive. So let's hear some highlights from today's kickoff event.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to the Bonsack Walmart. Appreciate y'all doing that. It's a huge event that we love doing, and we love you guys supporting us doing it, the Load the Bus campaign. You know, I'd like to appreciate both school systems being here, the great superintendents that support us. We thank them, and we love being a part of it. You know, I want to thank the great associates of Walmart. I mean, we think it as the cashier ringing up the item, but you got to realize somebody took the case of notebooks off the truck. Somebody put the pens and pencils on the counter. And then the cashiers ring up the folder to donate to our community. I'd like to thank Walmart in general. Last year, we give a lot to our community. This event, Load the Bus, raised over $40,000 to help support. So we're here with a beautiful day behind us. We're going to get ready to kick it off and load these buses and do it again. Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here. And this is really a great example of when people get together and work together and collaborate, we can do great things together, right? So you guys are emblematic of that spirit. So this is about kids. This is about meeting the needs of students, and especially as economic times are hard and people struggle, all the donations that are taken in make a difference for our students. So there's lists. I won't go through the things that we need, but it's basic school supplies. So we really appreciate the community and stepping up and doing that. So it really does make a difference. It takes that off the top of the concerns for families who are thinking about getting ready for school, and really give them the confidence to start their school year off on the right foot. So thank you guys for pepping us up today again, and I appreciate again Walmart helping us make this again possible. You want to say a word?
Yeah. This is my third year that I've participated in Load the Bus. I want to thank Aaron and Walmart for making this happen. Chuck showed me, we store all of the supplies in our gymnasium, and he's taken me in there, and I'm just astounded by the amount of material that are collected by the citizens and by Walmart. So it's a great event. It's a wonderful community gathering for kids who need it, and thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And that's part of the kickoff of the 2018 Load the Bus campaign. We want to say a very special thank you to Walmart for all their support, and thank you for helping kids in need across the Roanoke Valley. But don't go anywhere. More Acts and Excellence is still to come.
Cared then. I need you to care now. Don't turn a blind eye to teenage drinking.
If you would like to adopt a pet, did you know that you can also go to the RCACP website and their Facebook page to look at pets for adoption? It's easy to do. Simply go to their website at rcacp.org or visit their Facebook page. Both sites include information and pictures of animals waiting to be adopted. Help make a difference in the life of a pet today. Adopt from the Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection.
Well, that's going to do it for this month's edition of Acts and Excellence. If you'd like to learn more about Roanoke County Public Schools, be sure to check us out online and to like us on Facebook and Twitter. We also want to welcome you all back to the start of the 2018-19 school year. I'm Chuck Lionberger. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.